Welcome to yet another exciting episode of LastRow Club podcast. This is your host, Vitthal Mane, founder of LastRow Club, a wonderful human being at heart with humanity as my religion and one nation as my nationality. I'm a career analyst, content creator, a lifestyle coach, and a branding strategist. On this podcast, from solo to interactive sessions, each episode aims to empower you and guide you with actionable strategies and tips for your personal growth and building your stronger inner world. LastRow Club को सुनते रहना मतलब जिंदगी से जुड़े रहना. I'm sure you are enjoying listening to this podcast. Since last 2 episodes, I have started talking around my 7 steps to success blueprint, and where in the last 2 episodes I have already covered the first step about finding your emotional why, and the second step where I have shared with you that what is the importance of having the right mentor and a coach in your life. And now in this third step or the third episode on that series, I'm going to talk to you on a very interesting topic. But let me ask you first, have you heard my earlier those 2 episodes? If not, still you're going to enjoy this episode, and I'm sure that this will make you to go through those earlier 2 steps as well. And if you have already heard those 2 episodes, then I'm sure you are also going to enjoy this one, which is the third step in my 7 steps to success blueprint. Now, before even I move ahead, I really want to thank all of my listeners on this podcast, because in less than 10 episodes, LastRow Club podcast has crossed almost 12 countries, and I'm reaching close to 500 mark of my downloads of my podcast. And that really shows that you are really pouring me with a lot of love and helping me reach with my voice to as many as possible. And the whole purpose of putting all these efforts and recording this podcast with all these different topics is to share whatever I have learned in my own professional journey, so as to help you as a listener to achieve that personal growth with required optimum strategy. Now in this third episode in the series of 7 steps to success blueprint, you are going to learn the third and most important step towards your success is power of association. And in this entire episode, you will learn what is power of association and how it is important. And I'm going to share with you a real life stories from my own journey to share with you that why I have kept this as a third step towards your personal growth. To start with, I'm going to share with you a powerful thought which was shared by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was an Indian Hindu monk of 19th century. He devoted whole of his life for well-being of a mankind. And he was a key person in the introduction of Indian philosophies of Vedanta and yoga to the Western world. I think you can Google about him and you can really know more about his philosophies and his lectures and his thoughts. In one of his lectures, he explained this power of association with one of the very beautiful example which actually touched my heart. And this is such a beautiful example. So what he said is, the raindrop from the sky, if it is caught in hand, it is pure enough for drinking. If the same raindrop falls in a gutter, its value drops so much that it cannot be used for even washing your feet. Now, if the same raindrop, if it falls on a hot surface, it perishes. And if it falls in lotus leaf, it shines like a pearl. And finally, if it falls on an oyster, it becomes a pearl. So the drop is same, but its existence and worth depends on with whom it associates. And that's how Swami Vivekananda has explained the power of association with a wonderful example. Now, to further understand this concept, I'm going to share a few examples and real life experiences from my own journey so that you can really understand how changing the association could really help me achieve what I really wanted to achieve in my life. And when I really learned the importance of power of association, or keeping myself surrounded with the people who will be really helpful to achieve what I really want to achieve, and when I started shifting my power of association, I really found that results coming in my life. So once upon a time, I was with my colleague in office. मैंने ऐसे बातों में मैंने मेरे colleague को बोला कि you are actually an average of 5 people you spend most of your time with. And I also told him, if you show me your friend circle, I can tell you what is your bank balance. And on this, he just laughed at me and he told, अरे क्या फेंकता है बेटल, मैं तो ऐसे भी 12-14 घंटे तो ऑफिस में ही रहता हूँ, तो मेरा मैक्सिमम एसोसिएशन तो इधर ही है, ऑफिस के कलीग्स के साथ है. तो डेफिनेटली जो मेरा बैंक बैलेंस है वो तो एवरेज वेयर आई एम स्पेंडिंग इट इज इनसाइड द ऑफिस. So definitely it is going to be like that. But then I said, jokes apart, I really want you to understand what I mean by you are an average of 5 people you spend most of your time with. Because, and this is so true, even if you're physically spending 12-14 hours inside the cubicles, inside the office, or whatever profession you're doing, but very important is, what are those thoughts which you are always carrying? What are those emotions? What are those aspirations you are carrying in your heart for which you are ready to do something more? And that's what is a very important association you should be having, even if you are physically present in something else rather than where you need to be. So I continued and I told my friend that if you realize that you really need to want to pursue your professional career or your future as a personal growth in a different subject rather than the subject what you are in as a professional career right now, then it's very crucial that you should find that association, the people who are already into that career, already in that profession, who are really doing good, and you should spend some time with them regularly so that you can associate with their thoughts, their journey, and learn from them, which will definitely impact and shift your journey as well towards that particular subject. And to further understand this, I'm going to share some real life examples from my own journey, which will definitely help you understand what do I really mean by power of association. I learned from nature. When I observe the growth of a sapling or a plant, when it is planted in a forest or a jungle, it is very easy to grow with other trees around them. But at the same time, it is very tough when the same seed is planted alone in isolation at a backyard or courtyard in your house. Similarly, look at the animals or birds who would thrive with their natural environments and with their families around, rather than inside the cages in our house or zoos. And that's how nature itself gives us a living proof examples of power of association. Now let me share my 3 personal life experiences that really inspired me to take this power of association as the third and most important step towards your personal growth. So it was back in 1994 when I wanted to start my undergraduate engineering program after my SSC results. And my choices were influenced by the advice of my parents, my friends, my schoolmates, my teachers. Out of them, no one actually had an experience of engineering in those days. And back in 1994, we did not had Google Baba to look for the universities, look for the best of the best career alternatives. We were on the verge of accepting a slot at a local college nearby, and to complete the admission process, we went to one of the local approved gazetted officer for the certification attestation. Now, this individual was working with an engineering firm, and his son was an engineer. His gazetted officer is Mr. Shivaji Dongre, and I call him Kaka, uncle. Kaka examined my certificate and credentials, and he laughed and asked my father, "Arey Sidhu, where have you planned to take the admission for his engineering?" And my father replied him that we are taking him in local engineering college. And then he replied him, "Are you crazy to send him to this college? Apply for the admission to the best of the best universities in Mumbai, and they will welcome him with a free seat admission without any fees." Because I had a top rank in my school in those exams. And this one conversation with Kaka, Mr. Dongre, entirely changed my life. And I am still in deep gratitude for his words of wisdom and sharing that knowledge and guiding me to shift my admission process towards the right direction at the crucial turn of my life. And that one interaction could really change my entire career. So I made a conscious effort to get enrolled, and I went and searched that engineering college, which is still there in the Mumbai, VJTI, which is one of the best universities in Mumbai. And just following his guidance, I could actually get an admission and complete my entire engineering with one of the best universities in Mumbai. And after that incident, I determined that whenever I want to pursue anything new in my life, I would definitely seek for advice from the successful people in that field. And I would actually go and associate with them, spend some time with them to receive appropriate guidance and the knowledge from them. And these are the few people whom I feel I am blessed to have them in my life for guiding and helping me at those crucial turns of my life. And that was his legacy which actually inspired me to keep sharing and keep guiding people who would seek for that information and knowledge in their career, in their life. And this podcast is one of that aspiration which I always carried, to share my journey, to share the knowledge, share the experience what I am having, so that I can also be that person. Even if I could change someone's life, a single person's life through this podcast, I think that will be the best reward for my efforts. Now there is this second incident in my life which is very interesting. I really wanted to improve my public speaking abilities, remove that stage fear, and I was looking for a platform or where I can go and associate with some of the groups where I can really work on those skills. And during my professional journey, I discovered that there is a Toastmaster club which will really help me in doing this. And luckily, there was one corporate Toastmaster club within my organization itself. Then I started asking some of my colleagues who had been with Toastmaster club and asked them about their experience. And many of them actually talked to me about the difficulties they face and the challenges they face because of the busy schedule and additional responsibilities or additional projects which they need to deliver in the Toastmaster club. And then as I always followed my strategy, I actually searched for the person who is really doing good and is really successful in the Toastmaster Club, and I got connected with Srijit Nair. And I remember we never knew each other, and I started the conversation, and I introduced myself. I asked him about the Toastmaster Club, and then we became friends. And because of that association and his guidance, I really got inspired to start my journey with Toastmaster Club. And Toastmaster Club is one of the greatest real life example for the power of association. Because not only I removed my stage fear, but I also completed all my 10 projects inside the Toastmaster Club and got my certification as a speaker. I also made some of the best friends inside the Toastmaster Club, which I'm cherishing till today. And this journey was started in 2015, and till 2020, till I left my corporate journey, I was associated with Toastmaster Club. And I highly recommend anyone who is really looking for improving their speaking abilities and communication skills. Toastmaster Club is one of the best platforms to get associated with it and use that power of association to improve your communication ability. And this was my Petrofax corporate Toastmaster Club where I was part of it, and I really cherish all those memories and the journey what I had during those more than 5 years. Now coming to the third and the last, which is most crucial living proof of my life, is that my desire of becoming an entrepreneur. I always carry these aspirations to lead by example and to establish my own identity in the world as a leader, as an entrepreneur. I wanted that platform where I would really realize my dream of creating my own identity while also allowing me to live in the hearts of as many as people as possible throughout the world's society. And I always believe that follow your dreams and they know the right path. And today the dream has become a reality, and thanks to my constant association with successful entrepreneurs and the masterminds, where I started associating myself while I was busy with my job. And that constant association really helped me shift my mindset, how an entrepreneur thinks and how an employee would actually look for the security and that paycheck every month in the bank account, and how would an entrepreneur approach towards the earning and that financial status. And that shift in the thought process by keeping myself in those association really helped me to take that leap of faith and start taking action towards my entrepreneurship journey. I'm sure these 3 real life examples from my own journey would really help you understand the importance of power of association and how it is crucial to understand that you are an average of 5 people you spend most of your time with. So look around where you are spending your time, how your thoughts and how your emotional status it change because of the association you are always keeping around with you. That is so much impactful. Before I end, these are some of the examples which will definitely you will able to relate with. Look at politicians. Why most of the politicians are born to politician? Why most of the artists are born to artists? Why most of the doctors are born to doctors? Why most of the entrepreneurs are born to entrepreneurs? Look at these examples and understand how important is the power of association, and which can really change your life to whatever you want to become. Now that you learned this secret, start applying it today and see the magic in your life as well. Do not think of growing in isolation in whatever subject you want to grow in. Instead, associate with like-minded, successful people. Find a good mentor, good coach in your life. Follow certain rules based on your learnings. Think the right thoughts and keep reading right material. You will definitely find success in your life with great momentum. I'm sure now onwards, at least you will choose your surroundings before you spend most of your time along with. And you're most welcome to join the LastRow Club's mastermind to have that association of right people who can really help you and inspire you to work on your aspirations as well. And that's the whole purpose of LastRow Club. Now, if you have stayed in this podcast this far, then it's time to respond to our podcast question. And in this episode, I would like to know what is your takeaway from this podcast and what do you really learn from this power of association? Drop your response on our website lastrowclub.com on this episode, and I'll pick the most exciting response at random to announce the winner on our coming next episodes. I will keep announcing the winner on the following week's podcast as I start receiving the responses. आपको हमारा ये एपिसोड कैसा लगा ज़रूर बताइए. Go to lastrowclub.com and drop your feedback there. Before I leave, as I always say, let's create a beautiful legacy of a great mankind with only religion as a humanity and single nation with no boundaries. Signing off for now, this is your host, Vittal Mane. We'll talk to you next week with fresh and high vibrating thoughts. Until then, take care, stay safe and healthy, and do keep listening to LastRow Club.